I'm Nader Issa. Welcome to the Rambler Sports Locker's coverage of Arch Madness here in the Scottrade Center in St. Louis, Missouri. This is Dylan Conover. Loyola kicked off day one with a win against Bradley University. Let's take a look at what happened. Bradley came into the tournament as the 9th seed. Loyola was the 8th seed. To start off the game, Ronnie Suggs with a layup for Bradley before Montel James comes in the paint with a turnaround jumper as the shot clock expires. On the other end, Ben Richardson draws a big charge, and Julius Rajala gets a dunk for the Ramblers on the other end. At the end of the half, Bradley hit a long three near half court to tie the game going into the second half. Dante Ingram had 17 of his 19 points in the second half, including 3 threes, and Ben Richardson came up with 2 big plays, including this dive to get the ball with the hustle, throws it to Montel James, who lays it up as the shot clock expires. Later, Earl Peterson hits a dagger 3 with just over a minute left. Loyola goes on to win 74-66. James finished with his 7th double-double of the season. Dylan, the Loyola really took it to the Braves there in the second half. Dante Ingram had a big game. Montel James had another double-double. What do you think was the key for Loyola?
Well, the key, I think, was getting that quality play from the people that we're not maybe used to. I mean, Milton Doyle didn't have the greatest game. Earl Peterson didn't really have the greatest game. He came up pretty big, really down the stretch, but it was really good that maybe the more role players were really able to step it up.
You mentioned Milton Doyle. He's obviously the star of the team. He got in foul trouble early, had to go to the bench in the first half. Then later in the second half, had 4 fouls, spent most of the second half on the bench. Finished, I think, 0 for 3 shooting and had 2 points all game. How are the Ramblers still able to overcome his absence, really, for most of the game?
Well, I think it's the fact that, Porter Moser has them working hard as a unit, as a team, and they're really finally, at least now, being able to step up and, really do that next man up mentality. And, they're going to need it, and frankly, they can't afford Milton Doyle to have a poor game like that when they're playing Wichita State next. But if everyone else plays the way they did, we could have a game.
Now, obviously, Dante Ingram led the Ramblers in scoring with 19 points. Montel James had his 7th double-double of the season. But Ben Richardson had a key play in the second half. He dove for a loose ball and got the ball to Montel James for a layup as the shot clock expired. What did that do for the Ramblers? That looked like a turning point in the game.
It's hustle points. When you're hustling, you can change the game on a dime. You saw there. It could have gone either way. Bradley had a bit of momentum, but, scrambling like that, it can turn the game around, and Richardson showed that.
Yeah. Actually, Montel James was the leading scorer for the Ramblers. He had 20 points, not Dante Ingram, who did have 19. In the second game of the day, the Drake Bulldogs faced off against the Missouri State Bears. It was a close game in the end, but Missouri State pulled it off. Let's take a look what happened.
7th-seeded Missouri State faced off against the 10th-seeded Drake. The Bears set the tone early, raining down threes, led by Chris Kendricks, who went 5 for 7 behind the arc, scoring a game-high 21 points total. The Bears had 3 players score in double digits and led for most of the game. Drake, although being the last seed, showed they weren't going to roll over and give away an easy win. They battled hard under the basket and also had 3 players score in double digits. The game was filled with 3-point shots and highlight reel dunks. Although the Bears led most of the game, Drake came back and took a lead in the final 2 minutes. The Bears got it back, and after a costly turnover by the Bulldogs, Missouri State sealed their victory. With the win, they play 2nd-seeded Evansville Purple Aces tomorrow.
Dylan, Missouri State was the favorite coming into the game. What did they do to finish off Drake, who only had 2 wins in the MVC all season?
Yeah, well, first of all, even though Drake was the 10th seed, they certainly came out tonight and did not look like it. They shot the ball well and they defended very well. But, it almost looked like the Missouri State Bears were the Golden State Warriors out there, especially in the first half. It seemed like if it wasn't an alley-oop dunk, it was a 3-pointer. Obadiah Church, he only made 3 baskets in the game, but all 3 of them were outrageous alley-oop dunks. Chris Kendricks was an incredible 5 for 7 from the 3-point line. It seemed like every time Drake started to do something, Kendricks would go down and throw another 3. And everyone else was scoring. They had 3 players in double digits scoring-wise. it just seemed like every time Drake was able to get something going, Missouri State just came back and did a run of their own.
Missouri State did pull away a little bit at the beginning of the second half, but it still ended up being a close game. It came down to the last shot of the game. How was Drake able to fight back and really keep up with the Bears?
Well, it started off the second half. I believe they went on a 13-2 run to start the second half, and before they knew it, they were actually winning. But it was that, once again, that three-point shooting that Missouri State leaned on. They shot 50%, 10 for 20 the whole game. If you shoot that high from the three-point line, you're going to win.
Yeah. That wraps it up for our Day 1 coverage here in the Scottrade Center in St. Louis. Stay tuned for tomorrow's Day 2 coverage. We'll have 4 games tomorrow, and we'll be here all day. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.